situation now around the world is so dire that this week Biden's chief propagandist, Jen Psaki, could not name a single foreign policy accomplishment. Not one. Take a look.
The first one, it's year-ender season, so I would ask you, what does the administration consider your biggest achievement in foreign policy in this first year? And also, what lessons have you learned from what is arguably the biggest failure, which is Afghanistan?
This is a great question. I want to be thoughtful about it. I want to talk to the president about it, and I'm happy to do that. Go ahead.
Now, today, after thinking really hard and getting really creative, Jen circled back on Twitter, touting the president's, quote, global leadership on climate change. Wow. And the nuclear submarine deal with Australia, the one that caused America's oldest ally, France, to pull their ambassador from Washington, D.C. They were cut out of the deal and were the last to know about the deal. And as it turns out, foreign policy is really hard when you have a commander-in-chief who can't even remember who is serving as his own Secretary of Defense. That's a problem. Take a look.
I want to thank all of our distinguished guests that are here today, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the Secretary of the Secretary Austin.
He's really with it. On this program, we will continue to point out the obvious. Joe Biden, sadly, is a cognitive mess. It's dangerous for the country. It's dangerous for our allies. It's dangerous for the world. Tonight, whoever is in charge at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, I don't know who it is, they're doing a terrible job. Remember when Joe Biden promised to get the COVID virus under control? Remember he said he had a plan? Well, we're still waiting for that plan, Joe. Now we have many blue states are in full panic mode because of the Omicron variant. And by the way, it seems to be blowing up big time. Adding fuel to the fire, Joe Biden is now warning about a winter of death. I'm not making it up. Take a look.
For unvaccinated, we are looking at a winter of severe illness and death for unvaccinated. For themselves, their families, and the hospital they'll soon overwhelm. But there's good news. If you're vaccinated, you have your booster shot, you're protected from severe illness and death, period.
I know people fully vaccinated with boosters, and they're still testing positive, Joe. You might want to mention more than the one time you mentioned monoclonal antibodies, and maybe tell people they should talk to their doctors about it if, God forbid, they have a breakthrough case, or maybe they didn't get vaccinated and they get COVID. You've only mentioned it once. Now, Biden's dark winter last year, this year's sequel, the winter of death. Great progress, as always, under Joe. And, of course, we have more dead Americans from COVID-19 this year under Biden, who inherited 3 vaccines and monoclonal antibodies, and still than we had in 2020. We do turn to some better news. The administration's Build Back Better New Green Deal social